Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Quarantine Coaching, episode number 2 for anyone who didn't pay attention to the first one. Today we're looking over a Quinn top game, so it's a bit of a unique pick. It's not something that you see very often. The person sent this in to me saying basically that he's having some troubles. He's missing the spark, as I put it to him. So we're going to have a look at his gameplay today, see exactly what we can analyse from it. And we're going to just get straight into it. So this video doesn't have any sound because he had music in the background. If I'm playing my music in the background, his music, in-game sounds and everything is going to be far too much. So we're just going to have to deal with no in-game sounds. But that's absolutely fine because we're going to be focusing on, obviously, the gameplay itself. So just going to skip ahead here. So straight away he's gone into, I believe he's against a Jax this match. Leveling something straight off the bat. This is something I spoke about in the last video. You should not be doing that. E is the most safest ability on Quinn because it's obviously the dash. However, in some instances you may need your Q or you may even need your W just to scout ahead of time. So it looks like we're pathing straight top here. So pathing straight top is a bit of an issue. Realistically, the first thing we want to be doing is just taking a seat in the jungle area just here. So we're going to be wanting to cover off some of the river, potentially the pixel bush just down here, or even just covering the blue buff. Sitting in lane like this is not something you want to be doing. You're getting absolutely zero information for not only yourself, but your team as well. This could be the difference between finding out if the jungler is starting red or blue. Sometimes they will ward the pixel brush and go for an early invade. Yeah, so I assume you're tabbed out here, so we're just going to skip forward a little bit. Don't tab out in ranked. Just don't tab out in ranked. Here we are. So yeah, we're against the Jax. So straight away, he's getting some free damage on you. It looks like you've gone Glacial, which is a very interesting choice when Fleet is available. I don't really see the synergy that well. But what you're wanting to be doing here is just out-trading him. So you need to be clearing the minions at the same rate he is, making sure the wave's balanced, because right now you can't actually trade into him anymore. So he's level 2, you just want to sit back now and try and get this level 2 push back in. This early on, you don't want the minions to be hitting your tower, you should have had it balanced by now. With that being said, Quinn is quite a good CSer under tower with her passive, so you should be able to pick up the other 2 ones here, just use your Q. Okay, you missed one. Okay, so here now we just want to be last hitting again. The wave's actually in a really nice spot. It's slightly beyond the river, which means you don't really have to rely on a ward. But you do need to match Jax's autos here. So what you can do is every time that Jax autos, you auto a minion. What that'll do is it will just balance out the wave and make sure it doesn't push back to him, but also doesn't push any further into you, because it's in a prime spot for Diana to gank at the moment. Okay, we don't want to be using our Q there. We want to save all our abilities if Jax does decide to engage on us, making sure we get a nice beefy trade. So right now the Jax hasn't been hitting and you have been hitting. So as you can see here, there's a massive build up of caster minions. So what you actually want to do here, just to maximize pressure, is you just want to push the wave in. All you're doing is giving them more chance to actually stabilize, and also you're giving them a chance when the wave does inevitably push in to gank you. Okay, so Diana's getting caught. Interesting. I mean, yep. So now all you should be doing here is focusing on pushing. You just ignore the echo. He's level 2, yes, but okay, you got the kill. That's fine. If Diana gets out of here, I'm going to be absolutely amazed. Okay, so here, yep, you just drop the ward. Okay, so what you should have done there is you just drop a ward in this little bit here, or just along the wall so you can see where Jax is going, and then you just kite back around. If he decides that he wants to recall, and that's, you just get a lot of free pressure. If not, then he has to fight you. So here what you want to be doing is you just want to shove this straight into the tower. You don't want to give Jax any time without pressure. Your range, while he can jump on you, and he is one of the best champs against ranged champions, you are still a counter to him, especially this early on while he doesn't have items. So what you need to be doing here is actually just shoving this a lot quicker. Jax is pretty good at last hitting under tower, but it still puts pressure on him. And once again here, just step up, auto him as he autos. Every time he hits a minion, you should be hitting him. If he jumps on you here, he loses, because you have the bigger minion wave. Okay, he uses Counter Strike. Okay, that's a good flash. However, I would have E'd him first, but you've gotten away anyway. Okay, so what I would have done there is definitely eat the jacks first. That would have actually allowed you to gain some more distance. You might have not had to use your flash. Okay, so you should just E him straight away here. Okay, you shouldn't have held it for that long. You never want to get hit by the stun. He should have killed you. Okay, so something I have noticed as well is you're playing on lock camera. Never recommend playing on lock camera. If you can get away from it, get away from it. Okay, you should ignite. You should ignite him there and just auto. Trading 1 for 1 there when you're already getting pushed out of lane is better. You're going to have to go back anyway. It's better off for you to just take the extra gold. Okay, so first item for me here is pretty much always going to be Blade of the Ruined King and boots. So two things you need against Jax is kiteability and more kiteability. Unfortunately, he does have a lot of jumps, he does have a lot of dashes, so what you should be aiming to do is just kite him out in every instance possible. So I would have either gone for tier 2 boots there, maybe attack speed or even tabbies, and that would have just kept your advantage, or you could have gone for a cutlass and tier 1 boots. It would have been a much better spend of your gold, you have a fair amount left over, and on top of that it would have given you the sustain to actually pressure him properly. Okay, so what you're looking to do here by the... Okay, no, you've not done it, good. So there's never any point in cheesing like that. 95% of the time you'll waste your time, and the 5% of the time you get the kill is because the enemy lane is just really, really bad. Okay, that's great though. What you could have done there is actually E'd over the wall using the minion there. Something you need to work out how to do, and maybe just jump in a practice tool and see where and where you can't, because that was definitely in range to actually jump over. Okay, so what we want to be doing here, once again, is just hard pushing. You're spending a lot of your time sort of dancing around the minions when there's nobody here. And you've actually just created a freeze for yourself. So what you've done here is, I am just going to take a screenshot of this quickly and pause it. So just jump into Paint here quickly. So what you've done here is you've actually just created a freeze for yourself. So you've got these casters here, which were there on the last wave, okay? So you've got 2 casters and 1 melee. Oh, 3 casters, I didn't see that guy there. So you've just created a freeze for yourself by not pushing. So what this has done is just allow this minion wave to sit here. Jax will just be able to thin these out, and by the time it's done, because there is a cannon wave coming this way, is that he will just have the wave sat perfectly in this little area here. And that is exactly what he wants. That means you have to overextend every single time, and it even means that the jungler is going to come and gank you, which is a very viable option. You're playing a reasonably immobile champion, or he can just actually all in you, and once he gets your E, you're dead. Okay? So what you need to be doing, like I said here, is you just need to be pushing this wave as hard as you can. So to break a freeze, all you need to do is kill all the minions and make it hit the tower. So standing back here is not great. This is the best time to fight Jax. If he does try and trade with you here, it's the best time to fight him, because you have a big enough minion wave for him to not completely ignore it. But you've missed everything. Okay. Yeah, so what you're doing at the moment is just wasting time. You're not even getting XP. If any of these minions die, you're not going to get the XP for it. You're just on XP range for the melees. There we go, you're slightly... Okay, and you've missed 1 minion of XP. So you just use your W to scout the bush below you. What that will allow you to do is free up some pressure on yourself. But yeah, Jax has done this perfectly. So as you see here, he's got a 4 caster freeze, he's thinned it down to 3, and he's got it sat in the exact right position. So this is something that could have easily been avoided by just pushing, or just holding the minions back in your side of the lane. What you really need to be doing though is with your augment is just stepping up. You kind of need to take the risk here and break the freeze, otherwise you just fall further and further behind. You only have 32 CS and it's 8 minutes in, and you should be sitting around 60 to 70 at the moment, so you really do need to actually break this freeze. Here's another wave gone. So this caster wave is the perfect wave actually to try and break it. The reason being is that if Jax messes up here, he can actually break the freeze for himself. So cannons a lot of the time actually very much disrupt freezes if people haven't got it done properly. Okay, that's good. And you're dead. Okay. Yep. So yeah, he flashed on you, but it was a free kill. You spent too long trying to dance around the freeze. He out-leveled you by what, 2 levels? And the gold increase in that is just insane. Okay, so by the looks of it, you've actually got the magical footwear, which I don't particularly like in this matchup. Early boots is really important against Jax. In certain matchups where you're playing against a tank that doesn't have too much engage potential and you can bully a lot more, you can definitely take magical footwear. But in this instance, I would have much rather you have the stopwatch. The stopwatch would give you so much flexibility, it would actually stop Jax being able to dive you once he gets any stronger. Okay, so this is perfect. So you've actually got a reasonably okay freeze here. So what you need to do here, and I'm just going to screenshot again, and we're just going to take a little pause. Okay, so what we've got here now is a freeze opportunity. So you've just come back to lane. There is absolutely no reason for you to actually be not freezing. So as you see, this minion's about to die, this minion's about to die. This is going to give you a 5 to 3 advantage. So all you're going to have to do is you're just going to wait till these caster minions start to get really, really low, like borderline dead. And then you're going to kill this, and you're going to kill this. And you're just going to leave these alive. And you're going to tank 1 or 2 autos. These minions will then push down a little bit, and you're going to want them to sit just here beyond this arc. So what this does, it gives Jax the least amount of time to react to a gank. So when a gank comes in from your perspective now, which it should do if you freeze this, it will make Jax have to walk a much further distance. And on top of that, he's going to have to actually try and break your freeze, which is going to be these minions against the next wave. And that means that if he's focusing on killing the minions, then you get free trades. And if he doesn't, then you just get a CS lead, because there is no physical way that he can start at this line here and kill you by the time you get to your tower. Okay. Okay. So you've killed a caster. You never kill a caster until it's 1 hit. So yeah, you've broken your own freeze here, and you've reset it to what I just hoped would not happen. So now the wave is pushing, and you need to push this into the tower as hard as you possibly can. So all abilities need to just go straight in towards these minion waves. The quicker you do this before Jax gets back, the better for you, because he might not be able to freeze it, but he'll be back now. Okay, so here you have another prime opportunity to break the freeze before he sets it up, and just keep pushing. You've got a absolute huge minion wave here. You've got flash up. You know he doesn't have flash up, so you're relatively safe. Obviously, he might burn your flash, but yeah, you're just letting him take all this pressure for free. Whether Diana's here or not, it really doesn't matter. Yep. Okay, so Jax messed it up really badly. He should have instantly. You've been playing so passive the whole game, and then all of a sudden you stepped up out of nowhere. So that's Jax being insanely greedy. Another thing with playing the playstyle you're playing, which is very passive, like I understand that you are losing the lane under a technicality, is that a good player will notice when you change your playstyle that much. If you play more smart and more aggressive when you can be, like in that situation beforehand, it will actually make Jax not be able to fully recognize whether you're playing aggressive because you're just trading well when you're using smart decision making, or whether you're actually getting a gank. Okay, very interesting from Echo there. So something that you have to realize when you play this game, especially by the looks of it, it doesn't look like it's a super high rank. I can't remember exactly what you sent over. Is that mistakes like that should not come into whether you win or lose a game. Like usually, a good player, who you should assume everyone is going to be a good player, will never make that mistake. Echo had ult. He should have known that potentially the jungler was around Rift. There's not Dragon up. He doesn't know what camps are up, obviously, because he hasn't done his job properly. But there should have been no situation where you actually got that kill. So what you have to just remember and realize as you play these games is that isn't something that you need to look at and go, yeah, I did well. It's something that you need to look at and go, the enemy made a mistake. I capitalized on it, but actually it's not something that I did particularly well. So this is great here. You're kiting in and out of Jax's maximum jump range, which is absolutely perfect to see. So as you can see, you have a bit of experience knowing about Jax's ins and outs, and on top of that, just Quinn's natural kiting. But once again here, you have a lot of gold, but also Jax is just half HP'd himself from being too aggressive. So what you should potentially do here is either just push it in as hard as you can and recall. That obviously does then lead to the risk of Jax all-inning you. However, you still have flash. You know he does not have flash. And you do have red buff, so he is very kiteable at the moment. So that's really great. Oh, you don't get that auto. Okay. So you can see the magical footwear is kicking in, but it's something that you should have had a little while. Okay, so this is good. That's another good auto. So Jax is frozen himself in the lane, and you should definitely stay here with the potential to kill. Okay, so you should have E'd him there. Like, you don't need to be that scared of him. His counter strike is countered by your E. Like, he has to wait until it's fully done. He can't just stun you in place. And you have ignite as well. So if he misplays, you just kill him. But what I'd recommend doing here actually is just igniting him for pressure. Yep, so he's jumped on you. That's a great... Yep, and you're going to kill him here. Yeah, the ignite wasn't actually needed. What you just needed to do is not go into melee range. I know he walked back up to you, but you have Quinn. You just Q him, it gives you the movement speed, and you just walk away. So what you've done here, and I'm just going to pause it again quickly while we can see it, is you can see just on the minimap down here that you have actually left the wave in a very, very, very awful position. So what you've done is the minion wave's crashed here, and your minions are only just pushing in, so that means there is more minions there. So it will naturally push back to you, assuming Jax doesn't get back first, which he won't because he's got 16 seconds on his death timer. But what you should have done there is push the tower. You won't get platings anymore because it's too late in the game, I believe. However, what you should have done is just pushed. It denies Jax a lot of gold, it resets the minion wave so you can actually sit it where you want. Okay, so you don't want to get Shiv here. Please don't buy Shiv straight off. Good. So, okay, you've just left base with 800 gold. So you've got no pink ward, you've got no long swords, you've just left with potentially 30 to 40 ADs worth of gold in the bank. Because I think you're tunnel visioning on a kill. Yep. Okay, so if you get this, then I suppose it will be worth it, but it doesn't look like you will. Yep, so you've just not only left base prematurely without finishing your buy, you've also lost your minion wave to where you wanted it because it's going to reset now. But the most important thing is that you just haven't shot because you tunnel vision. Okay, so here we're just going to go back to what I've been saying before and just last it. Don't hit the Quinn passives. They don't need to be hit. They're not an essential part of your kit when you're farming. I know it makes last hitting easier, but you're not using them to last hit. So Jax is mid at the moment, so you can actually just push this in as hard as you can now. So you're quite lucky this game, to be fair, because your team is winning naturally. So it's not looking like you're going to have to super carry, which is fine. Obviously, you don't. Some games it's just your game to lose, and you just have to not throw. But it is very important right now that you don't throw, and to not throw, what you need to do is pressure this echo. Yes, spot on. Okay, so oh my goodness, he's doing a lot of damage to you. Okay, he kills you. That's fair enough. I mean, once again, one of the things I'm noticing with you is that you are in melee range a lot more than you are actually ranged. I understand, obviously, Quinn does jump into melee range to a degree, but you should be using your E more or less as a deterrent and more or less as a way to kite. The only time you really want to be engaging massively with your E is when you're actually when you know you have kill pressure. You hadn't seen how strong the echo was. I'm not seeing you press tab a whole lot. so you're not seeing all the information on the map. Okay, so Diana gets the kill top. Yep, good. Very close. Okay, so you're tunnel visioning again. You could have got them easily if you just walk around the minion wave, but you run straight through the middle of it because you were focused on the champs. Okay. So yeah, you are right just to push this in because obviously you were looking for the kill bot, but you now need to rotate. Okay, so we're just gonna push this in, I guess. I mean, it's not the worst, but all I'm thinking right now is that they would have got this. But okay, maybe they wouldn't have got it with just the two of them. Okay, that's good. That's a shutdown. That's very, very nice. So you turned a reasonably questionable decision into a good one. Um, Sometimes it is better to actually just take the questionable decision if your team's all behind it. Often, if your team's not behind a decision, it won't work anyway. So, okay, so yeah, just kite. Okay, so you're trapping yourself in the alcove here, and you weren't out of the way. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So straight away there, you were stood on the edge of Jin's ult instead of actually out of the way of it. That's a bit greedy. Um, it's almost guaranteed that he was going to shoot his ult that way. Okay, so you're typing to them. I don't ever recommend typing unless it's just positive. Um, I understand the frustration when you play ranked, that obviously you can't always see all your own mistakes, but that death was almost entirely avoidable by just not being quite as greedy. Same there. You could have 100% killed him if you just attack moved. Obviously, you probably are going to pick up the kills here because you're playing Quinn. Okay, so you get a double there. So what you need to do now is just push. Don't just back. You're just leaving the cannon. Nobody's got that cannon. Yeah, you just missed 80 gold. Okay, so what are we looking at now? Starrett's Gauge doesn't work. Trinity Force is a no-no. I'm still set on Blade the Ruined King. The kiting potential it gives you is just absurd. No, you haven't bought. You've just missed your gold. So you got 400 gold sat in the bank again that you haven't used. So this seems to be one of your big things, is that you're tunnel visioning a lot. You've seen it. You've seen a situation here where I believe it looks like the dragon's coming up. Yes, it is. But it's not up yet. You don't need to be here right now. There's top lane which is pushing in towards you, which you could have cleared. You're very mobile. The team wins that without you. You're not contributing there. So, okay, you're probably going to get this fizz. No, you've had a little bit of lag by the looks of it. Yep. That is bad timing, unfortunately. It does happen though. Okay, is it going to sort itself out? Yes, there we go. It seems to be coming back. Okay, so you're having a bit of lag. That happens to everyone, unfortunately. What you shouldn't be doing here is trying to contest a Jax on 200 ping. Especially just engaging like that. Yeah, he's going to kill you here. So that was just straight up feeding. So there was absolutely no need for that. You should have walked around the long way, just cleared the minions. If you're not lagging, then yeah, you can potentially kite him out there, but I mean 90% of the time you lose that fight anyway. Especially when you use your E aggressively. You can't blame lag for that. So, as much as Diana shouldn't just be saying why, once again, it's not constructive. It doesn't help at all. She is right. Why? I understand the frustration, like I said, but you need to not just get engrossed in these situations. And also, you don't make excuses. Think about what you're actually doing. So if we just look at a quick summary of where you are at the moment in the game, you have 6 kills, 4 deaths. So if you want to be pedantic, you've got a +2, which isn't great. And you have 100 CS at 22 minutes or 23 minutes. So you're 130 CS behind, and you're at a +2 KD. So we're not looking very promising at the moment. So I think typing to your team who probably aren't feeling that not toxic is not going to be helping your situation. Okay, so next thing to do right now is you're just going to hit R, and you're going to go check Baron. You're going to walk past Baron. Yep, so you want a W here, you don't want to just start face checking. You're very greedy. Very, 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 very greedy. Yeah, what I've realised is that you don't have respect for the enemies, and you have to assume that they're going to be playing their best game ever. Every single game you have to assume that they're going to be playing the best possible game they can play in their entire life. So everything they could possibly do, you need to think about. Okay, so Braum gets that. Bit unlucky you didn't get that. It's the last second shield. But that's fine. So what you want to do now is you've got 2 lanes open that you can rotate to. Ooh. Vayne's just saved your life. That was brilliant. That was a really great condemn. So still, right now you just want to go bot. So Quinn has the glorious advantage of being insanely mobile after level 11. So all you need to keep doing is just keep roaming around the map and picking up as much CS as possible. No one can contest the amount of CS you're going to be getting because Jax can't run to 2 lanes at the same time. Okay, and you've E'd again. Yeah. Okay, so once again, all you should have done is just come straight out your ult. Oh, this Jax is feeding. Okay, cool. So you get a kill. Very lucky. What you should do is just come out of your ult as per normal, start auto attacking. When he tries to jump on you the first time, you just E, and you still have your flash up for this next fight. And with Jax dead, you should be calling Baron. You've got Vayne, you've got yourself, so you've got double AD comp, you've got a solid mid and a solid jungler for clearing Baron. Okay. So what you don't want to actually be doing here is pushing too hard. So you've got a nice minion wave here stacking up. You need to actually just let it sit for a minute until the second wave catches up now. So if we just have a look at the minimap quickly, you've got yourself, who is currently in their now tier 2 section of the map. So your top side jungle for the enemy team. You can see 2 people on the map. Now 3. So there's still 2 potential people who could be sat there. Okay, so they're all dead. So once again, very very lucky, but the awareness isn't there for me. What I'm not seeing is you actually paying attention to what's going on in the game. So now you know it's a 1v1, right? So you know it's a 1v1. You need to pick up that red. That will mess Jax up massively if you get that because you can kite him. Okay, so a bit of an interesting E. No, unlucky. Okay, so you've got that, and now you just need to piece. So one thing that you need to start using as well when you're traveling is just use your Ghost Blade whenever it's off cooldown. If you think like you're going to get somewhere faster, just use it. It's not necessarily a combat item, it's a movement item. So they do work slightly differently. But this is great. No, this is actually great. This is one of the first things I'm seeing that I'm liking is just you're pressuring mid because it's open. Okay, and now you just want to rotate top. So Jax is top. You know Jax is top. There's no, like, your team is winning every 4v4 you've been in so far. Syndra shouldn't be the one rotating. It should be you. Okay. So this is good. Yeah, I recommend just focus the dragon. I don't really see the need to fight here. I mean, it looks like you're going to win this fight again. But Vayne's almost died to the dragon. Yeah, and so this is starting to fall apart a little bit, and the reason being is that Syndra can't 1v1 Jax. A good Jax player will absolutely annihilate to any Syndra player, and you've lost enough health, Vayne's lost enough health, so even though you've gotten one kill, they are probably going to be the ones who get this dragon. Okay, right. No, don't do it. Don't do it again. You haven't bought. You haven't bought anything. You bought Trinity Force and you've got 700 gold. That's 2 longswords. That's 30 AD. Okay, so you need to be clicking closer to yourself. Use Ghost Blade, use Ghost Blade, use Ghost Blade. Okay, so he's didn't kite or anything. Please go and buy. Please go and buy. You've got Ghost Blade, you can get out of base in 10 seconds. But you've got 1200 gold. Once again, that's literally this is the difference between winning and losing games. Okay, so here's good. Vayne's dead. Okay, so Diana dies there. You just need to back. So your next job right now is to go and recall. Yeah, well played from Syndra. Why are you so scared? Fizz was 1 HP. One crit kills her. Him, sorry. Yep. So this is good. You just go in top, you're going to relieve the pressure on the wave. Don't, just... Okay, so you just don't need to respond. If people are flaming, it's below you. It really is below you if people are going to flame, especially when you are now to a degree contributing to the game. So just ignore it, just play. There's no need to get worked up about what people think. At the end of the day, you're probably never going to see most of these people again in your life. But you need to shop. 1600 gold now. That's enough for a cutlass. Okay, so that's great. Just go shop. Jax is dead. Please shop. It's stressing me out so much because you have so much wasted gold. Right now, if a team fight breaks out, you're 1600 gold down. Okay, so here, once again, you're pushing top. You can only push one wave. You don't know where anyone is. You can't see anyone. And so right now you are overextending. Yep, Fizz is coming top. You've seen that. Jin's there as well. And now Echo. Yeah, and it looks like you die. Yep. Okay. Just very, very lucky. Very, very lucky. I will have a mental breakdown in a minute if you don't go shop. Okay, so Fresh is not the target of focus here unless he's completely by himself. Okay, he dies before Echo actually does anything, so that is unfortunately just a bit lucky. Okay, so Fizz is on you here and you're dead. Cool. But on the bright side, we're going to shop, which is great. Blade of the Ruin King. Blade of the Ruin King. You're not buying items there, like you're following, by the looks of what I can see, a standard build path. Even though I don't see Trinity Force from pretty much any Quinn player whatsoever, it looks like you're just following kind of you've just switched off your brain. Which is fine, like, I get it, but you're not winning. Well, you are winning the games, but it's not because of you. You're not snowballing, so it doesn't really matter. You need to be situational about the items you pick. Like, you either need to get tankier here with a Hex Drinker, or potentially a Wit's End. I mean, I don't particularly agree with the Wit's End, but at least it's got some magic resist. Or you need to be better at kiting. And to be better at kiting, you need to... oh, please just step into your base. You can't buy there. There we go. Yep. you need to be better at kiting, and to do that you need Blade of the Ruined King. It gives you insane movement speed along with your passive. It also has an active which works with Glacial Augment. So considering you're running Glacial, I'm surprised you don't have Blade of the Ruined King. Okay, so what is going on here? You're just fighting, you're fighting. Okay, so Jax dies. It's great. Honestly, what I would recommend doing is just having a look at some other Quinn players. Um, Looking at builds, looking at build paths, looking at matchups. Jax is a hard matchup for most champions because of his natural mobility, his ability to dodge auto attacks, so it makes trading into him very difficult. But he is very kiteable because you're playing someone who is a ranged AD. Okay, so you should really be looking at builds, looking at what you can change to actually make yourself better by doing that. Wave management is something I really have noticed this game, is knowing when to push, when not to push, how to freeze. If you need to know how to freeze in detail, I can make an actual video on how to freeze correctly, so if you need that, just let me know. But yeah, and just your CS in general, you're 33 minutes into the game with 160 CS almost, which is literally half of what you should have at this point. Even if you're doing 10 per minute, you should have 300. Okay, so we're going to skip your death here. So we're getting towards the end. Okay, so it looks like you're going to go backdoor potentially. Okay, that's strange. So I would actually go backdoor here. They're all doing dragon. You've used your E aggressively again, which should have been punished by Fresh. Okay, so we got one there. So even though they've got the dragon here, you should still win this fight. You just need to not all bundle in. Yeah, okay, that's game. So don't chase, just end. So by chasing here, what you give him a chance to do is to kill you. Okay, he's not paying attention. You're getting a lot of free kills from people who are making mistakes. It's not gameplay decisions that actually are good. And stuff like that you need to just wean out. So Syndra made the correct call and actually said ignore Jax, which was absolutely the correct call. It would have, like, if he comes here, it's still 5v whatever. Okay, so that's the end of your game, which is great. There's a lot of room for improvement on just basic in-game knowledge. So just making sure you know when to push, when not to push. You need to know how to actually manage waves properly and how to freeze. Rune setup and item choices, massive, massive things you need to work on. And just, if there's anything I can recommend you do from your next game, it's just use your shop when you have gold. Like, you left base 3 times that game, I believe, with an absurd amount of gold still in your pocket because you were tunnel visioning on getting kills or getting objectives, which is fine, but the plays don't usually play out that way, and it often makes a lot more sense just to get and secure that advantage correctly. Okay, it's been a pleasure looking over your gameplay, and I would love to look over another one. I know I've got another one actually that you've sent me as well, so I'll have a look over that in the future. I just want to clear a few other people's as well first. Okay, so any questions, feel free to drop me any messages, and thank you for watching.